All right, and we are live. Thank you everyone again for joining us to talk about crushing your 2022 sales goals with this one key tool. We're talking about CRM today. We're going to talk about things sort of around CRM, things that you can be doing in your business as well, but then tying it, of course, back to the tools that ultimately you can help to use for your business. So jumping in, I'm Shannon. I'm the sales director here at Exact Contact. You can reach me at the contact info that's currently on your screen, or you can reach out to our general sales line, and any member of our awesome sales or support team would be happy to answer any questions for you. That's what we're here for. As I mentioned a couple minutes ago, as we go through the webinar, feel free to use the chat function, ask us any questions, and I will do my best to get back to those as quickly as possible. If I see a question pop up and I know I'm going to be talking to that item down the path of the webinar I've planned for us today, I may just leave it and get to it as we get to it. But if it's something that's directly related to what I'm presenting and I can dive deeper, I am happy to do so. So please feel free to use that chat bubble. We are recording today's webinar. So if you need a copy, if you get distracted, you get a phone call, you have to jump off early, don't worry, we will be sending out the recording to everyone who registered for today's webinar. So what are we going to talk about today? And we all know the topic. It's about crushing your sales goals. And we want to do that in relation to the importance of CRM to the success for your business. Why you should care about that, right? Obviously, why CRM should matter, and why it's a good time right now to take action on setting up a CRM or diving deeper into your current CRM. I'm going to share with you a little bit about agent personas, and I'll get deeper into that in a moment. And we'll see why there's a key shift that's occurring with real estate CRM directly tied to those agent personas. And of course, what you're all here for, the 5 simple things you can do now to set yourself up for your best year yet in 2022. Obviously, goal setting is our whole theme here, and how to then manage and track and get towards those goals, and ultimately how you can get Exact Contact if your current CRM doesn't have the tools you need to be able to jumpstart your business for 2022 in relation to the items that we're going to chat about today. So why is CRM so important? It really is the key to your success in setting up goals and achieving those business goals. And part of that comes with just getting organized, setting goals, setting new processes to be able to work towards those goals, and working on your CRM in general and your keep in touch communication in general will ultimately help your business. And we want you to be able to start this new year off really, really strong. And often now, towards the end of the year, the beginning of the new year is a good time to work on your business plans for the new year. And a great place to start is that CRM, getting things organized in one place, starting the year off sort of on that right foot. And we all talk about New Year's resolutions and things that we want to do. I want to lose weight. I'm going to get a gym membership. I'm going to eat less sweets. Whatever your resolutions are in your personal life, we should also be setting some goals or resolutions, if you will, for your business. And that's where having the important tools for your business come in. So I want to talk about the agent personas because they relate directly to what tools you may want to put into place for your business. And when I talk about the agent personas, I'm talking about these agent personas that are from T360, one of the leading real estate research and consulting firms in North America. And T360 put together these personas after looking at data and polling agents and brokers and asking, what their key practices are, and sort of dropping them into these buckets. We're looking at, on the left, prospectors and converters. That's your traditional salesperson, right? That's your sort of Wolf on Wall Street type personality, lots of cold calling, prospecting habits, lots of, they're really organized to follow up with cold leads, and they're really good at that. They're good at measuring, what their ROI is and how many leads they need to get to achieve, a high return on that investment. Whereas on the right hand side, we've got networkers and marketers, and networkers and marketers are good at just that: networking, relationship building, being involved in the community, sending messaging out to your specific audience. So if you're a subject matter expert on X neighborhood, or you share information about all of the golf communities around, those are the things that help you build an identity and a brand. And not that the prospectors and converters don't do some of this, but agents that tend to have this more sort of networker and marketer persona lean much more heavily on this type of practice. Some of the key challenges, and every persona has its challenges, prospectors and converters need the time and they need skills to be able to make those cold calls. They need a budget to be able to purchase the leads that they then feed through, their auto dialer, and they make X number of calls every morning. They need a certain system set up for that. And a lot of it, leads to a lot of effort. It also leads to some hard advertising cost. And on the other side, the networkers and marketers, they're restricted a little bit in their sphere of influence, right? There's, how many people do you know and how many people do they know? So, it's difficult sometimes getting that audience scaled out. It's easy to get stuck in your comfort zone to just talk to those people that already know, like, and trust you and hope that they bring other people to you. But there's things that networkers and marketers can be doing by delivering expert knowledge and doing seminars and things that maybe are a little bit out of your comfort zone that can help push that sphere a little bit further. So different challenges that the networkers and marketers versus prospectors and converters deal with, and what they need to help them overcome these challenges is somewhat different. The networkers and marketers need a good CRM system. Networkers, can deal with usually a pretty basic CRM. Marketers need a CRM system that has some kind of marketing system, offers like reports and blog articles and information. They, both on the marketer and networker side, you need local expertise. You need a social media presence. You need a sphere. Whereas on the prospector and converter side, it's more of a data system. You need something that's feeding you those leads, feeding you FSBOs or expireds, or whatever it is that you're pulling those lead sources from. You need advertising programs. You need a lead gen website. You need a religious commitment to following up, because as we know with those online leads, the conversion rate can be really low if it's not your forte to be cold calling those types of leads. So different challenges, different tools, different attitudes and skills needed on both sides of the equation here. And you guys are all going, what does that mean for CRM, Shannon? That's cool, but what does it mean? And I ask you all to think about which one of those four personas, let me just go back a slide. Which one of those personas do you fit into? It may be a blend of a couple of them, but most of us fall into sort of one or two of those overlapping categories. And CRM is so important in this equation because the right CRM for the prospector and converter is not going to be the right CRM for the networker and marketer, and vice versa, right? The prospector and converter agent needs a CRM that's the sort of that top of the funnel. It's capturing all the new leads they're bringing in. It allows them to easily and quickly dial through and follow up with those hot leads. And the networker and marketer need that sphere management CRM. So more sort of middle to bottom of the funnel, those clients that you're nurturing, following up with all of your existing deals, your past clients, making sure that you're maximizing your repeat and referral business. And actually, part of this study, there is data behind those personas. T360 concluded that 85% of agents actually fall into that networkers and marketers, that right-hand column in the categories, and just 15% are prospectors and converters. So I'll ask you again, think about it. Which one are you? And does the CRM you have today do the things you need it to do for the way that you want to and are successful in working your business. And so many agents and brokerages feel like they need to invest in that lead gen solution, but it can be a struggle to then convert it into business if you're not on, if you're not getting the right CRM and the right networking and marketing and lead gen solution tools that fit the persona of yourself and your skills in your business. Networker and marketer realtors have stronger spheres and therefore the ability to drive a lot of business from referral and repeat clients. So we're going to talk today about how do we make most of that, right? How do we get more out of that existing sphere? And we're going to start with CRM. We're going to start with getting back to some basics, your database. It's important. Keeping in touch with that database, being able to strengthen relationships so you're growing a profitable referral and repeat based business, and back to the core technology that drives and supports this, CRM. Exact Contact is a real estate CRM. I'm going to talk more about Exact Contact and show you what the system can do as we talk about some of the key things that you can be setting up now for your 2022 business and goals and working towards those. So CRM wise, Exact Contact is real estate specific and it's easy to learn and use. We have versions for agents and teams, we also do programs for brokerages. It includes a marketing platform with the ability to mass send emails, text messages, drip campaigns, and a ton of copy, including a monthly email newsletter that we write for you. There's agent websites included. We also have automated social media marketing, an amazing support team that helps get you up and running quickly. And as I mentioned quickly a moment ago, a corporate program for brokerages and associations. There's even a recruiting version of the CRM. So we want to talk about how it's going to help your business. And I'm actually going to skip over this slide and jump to, let me just jump to the 5 things that we're going to talk about setting up for success for next year, for 2022, so that you will have goals to work towards. So you're setting goals for more business, which means more money in your pocket. You can manage more business because you're more organized, and you have more free time because you have systems in place looking after some of those key communications and key tasks for you. So what I want to do is set up these 5 key things that we're going to talk about. And number 1, we got to get organized, because until we get organized, it's hard to set goals and work towards them. So number 1 is always organizing your contact data. And we'll talk more about that, and I'll show you around the system in that respect. We're going to set your goals for 2022, both business and activity. And they're tied together directly, but they are slightly different goals. We're going to set up some automated keep in touch processes to help you drive the activity that will ultimately help you achieve those goals. And we're going to help you connect with everybody on your A list. And the last thing is to work on yourself and your readiness to kick off the new year really, really strong in your business. So when I talk about organizing your contact data, I know you want to do it. It's a good time. Now, if you've got a little bit of extra time, right? People tend to be sort of wrapping things up, Christmas, holidays, New Year. So perhaps you have a little bit more time in your business day to be able to get things organized. If you don't have a CRM, strongly encourage you to get one. I know your broker, manager, coach, trainer, colleagues have been saying that. Do it. Make it the one big thing that you do for this coming business year. If you have one and you don't like it, or you don't feel like it's doing the things it needs to do for your business, look for a new one. Look for that right system. As we just laid out with those agent personas, maybe you have a CRM, but maybe it's not the right one for how you want to run your business. And if it's not bringing you new business, if it's not helping you grow your business, then it may be time to look at a different one. And if your data is scattered, you're not alone. Let's pull it all together into one unified database. We can help with that. We can even sync that database with your Gmail, your Outlook, Mac applications, your iPhone, iCalendar, as we need to. to make sure that you have all of those key tools in place. So let me just jump to our exact contact system here and show you a little bit about that organization. And so right off the bat here, you'll see pretty organized, all of our main menu items rather down the left-hand side of the system, all of our contact lists down the right-hand side of the system, and right front and center, a keep in touch coach that says, follow up with these people. So again, we've gotten all of our contacts into one place. We've been able to organize those contacts with things like a status, a type, and different groups. And if you have another system, or if you've been using this spreadsheet, or you have categories set up in wherever your contacts are stored, we'll help you port those over so you're not losing that existing categorization. And it can be as simple as just your A list and your B list. And I'm going to talk about A list in a few minutes, but getting just those key people that are going to help you run the majority of your business, those hottest prospects, past clients, friends and family that fall into that A-list category, even if you don't go as far as to put them into, people that you have other relationships with, or, narrower categories, you can still just separate it into that A-list and B-list and be able to then communicate with those hottest prospects, those hot current clients and past clients that are going to help drive your business. And again, we're looking at just the top of the funnel. Business pipeline lets you drop everyone into a larger bucket, all your hot prospects, all your current clients, all your past clients, and so on, so that you can then get it narrower into a type, like hot prospect buyer. And then of course that person's in your A list. So just allowing you to categorize and get everything into one place. So if you've got contacts in your email, you've got contacts in your phone, you've got some people on sticky notes in your bag, you need to get them all into one place so that you can then drop them into these buckets and then use the system to help you follow up with them. When we look at an actual contact record, you'll see that it's the main contact and their spouse. You've got all of their communication, so your last notes and prospecting updates, your last correspondence, again, the contact groups just highlighted at the top, contact information for the main contact and their spouse, their home address, and if you know it, keep their move-in date in here. And I'll talk about why that move-in date is so important in just a couple seconds. Work details if it's relevant, birth dates, again, key dates that make the system be able to follow up for you. And we'll get into that in just a couple seconds when I get to, I think it was point number 3, those keep in touch processes. So again, really robust contact records, full contact history, all held in one place. And that's part of what's so important, is just simply getting things organized. If you're feeling scattered, if you're feeling like the end of the year is looming over you, even as you get into the first of the year, and that end of the year is still looming over you, it could just be that things need to be more organized in your business. And CRM's primary function is that organization, helping you categorize and getting that set up for you. And don't be afraid of it. Our team is here to help. That's what we do, making sure that you're able to get the system set up and working for you, get all of your contacts into one place, and get them categorized quickly and easily. So first and foremost, we're going to get organized. After we've got you organized, you can set up your own business and activity goals in the Exact Contact CRM. So again, ask yourself, does my current CRM allow me to set goals that then, as I log activity in the system, does the CRM then show me how I'm tracking towards my goals, or do I have to track it manually? And I'm going to jump back to the Exact Contact system here and really dive into that. So you'll notice here there's a little goal setting module. And when I pop into goal setting, you see we've already set our goals for 2022. I'm going to edit them just so I can show you what this looks like. And what the system does is it asks you a series of 15 questions. And it starts with, what do you want to make this year? And we're going to set our effective start date for the first of the year. It's a perfect time to be setting up new goals, because we're looking at those goals as we go forward. And I think 190 is tough but achievable. And the system asks you some basic questions. What is your average commission per transaction? If you're newer in real estate and you're not sure yet, ask your broker, your manager, if you've got a coach, trainer, team leader, ask them, because they'll have the best feel for what the average commission is in your market. It may be different in your market. And then, of course, the importance of what percentage of your closed transactions are seller listings, which then, of course, the system can do math. It means that 30% of your transactions are then buyer sales. It may be the other way around for you. So put in whatever's appropriate for your business. What percentage of your listings become closed transactions? Meaning, some are going to fall off, some may change their mind, what have you. I'm going to go with 85%. So strong majority. What percentage of your listing presentations result in a listing? And I'm really good at listing presentations, so I'm going to again put it in there, a strong majority. What percentage of your buyer presentations result in a buyer sale? A little bit lower. Buyers are a little more fickle. And then we get asked to set some goals for our activity. Again, we're starting the beginning of the year, so this is easy. If you were getting started with the system partway through the year, I might suggest changing these dates to the time that you're getting started with the system, so that you're not trying to go back and log activity, or setting goals for 6 months of the year that you haven't been logging activity in the exact contact platform. You want to be able to set goals right from the get-go. And since we're starting at the beginning of the year, that's where we're going to leave it. Now, please don't work 52 weeks this year. I know in real estate, it's really hard to make time for yourself, but even if it's, less 4 weeks, but you made it just 3 or 4 days here and there, then I'm going to make it 48 weeks. That's the time frame that I want to be working in here. And how many contacts do we want to add over this next year? So I've said 100. That breaks down to really just a few a week. How many referrals would we like to get this year? I'm going to go with a couple a month, basically, turning those into business. This looks like a big number, but again, it's for the whole year. So if we look at how many phone calls we want to make to our database in 2022, I'm going to say 6,000, and I'll show you in a minute where it breaks that down into a smaller goal. How many handwritten notes are you going to send to your database? Great ways to keep in touch, things that not everyone's doing anymore. Everything's become so digital, but there is huge value in that personalized handwritten note. You may choose to also add activities for things like sending personalized videos. We've got pop-bys. How many of those are we going to do this year? How many listing presentations would you like to make this year? And the system helps you out a little bit here. Based on your previous answers, you need to make at least 17 to be able to achieve the goal that you set for yourself, right? And this is because X number of listings based on the GCI that I want to earn, based on my average commission per transaction, based on the fact that I have a really high conversion with my listing presentations, just 17. But you can adjust it. You could say, I want to make 25. I want to actually overachieve my goals. I'm going to leave them as the basic here. Based on the previous answers, I need to make at least 7 buyer presentations. Again, you can override the number. And how many annual real estate reviews would we like to do this year? I'm going to say 25. Real estate review would be sending out that market information to your database. And the system gives us then, okay, great. If this is what you wanted to make, I actually need to adjust that number, but anyway, it's a little small. Obviously, we're going to do better than that. And we've got some numbers to work with. When I pop back to the dashboard, you'll see that there is a prospecting activities widget and a closed business widget. Now, these are comparing to the goals that were for 2021. So, because we're still just wrapping up that year in the calendar year here. And if you look at prospecting activities, you'll see that the number of new contacts per week, the number of phone calls per week has all been broken down. So it makes it a lot easier to achieve those overall goals when we break it down week by week, when we show you where you're tracking towards those goals. And all you have to do is on your Keep in Touch coach, when it says follow up with these people, is click that prospecting update button, log your note for your phone call, save it, and the system will automatically track it as a prospecting activity. So super simple to do. Similarly, with the closed business, you'll notice over here on the left, we've got active business. And all the system requires is that you enter in your listings and your buyers. So for example, if we've got our friend Sal Andrew here, if we go to his contact record, in his properties tab, we've added in this property and turned it into a listing. And then when we go back to view that listing, you'll see we've got an active listing, what the asking price is, and so on. So we've got all of his details. As these listings close, or as a buyer sale closes and we change that active status to closed, the system automatically tracks it back to those goals that we've set for ourselves. So again, 2021 goals reflected here, where you're seeing, we're a little bit short. This is demo database. We're not actively logging things as you guys will be, but keeping you accountable to what you've decided to set up for yourself in this year. So super easy to set up, easy to track just by making sure those contacts are organized, entered into the system. And then as you log your activity towards those goals, you will have exactly where you're tracking. And you can see red, black, or green based on your activity, based on the actual values. What do I need to do more of? Where am I achieving or overachieving my goals? So having a system in place that helps you do that, that even gives you an active business snapshot of what's pending, right? What have you got in an active listing? What value, what commission is sitting in that active business area of the system? So really easy ways to get yourself organized, set some goals, and then be able to hold yourself accountable to those goals. It's right on your dashboard every single day. So I'm going to pop back to my little slideshow here and jump to the next things, because in order to be able to achieve those goals, we just set a whole bunch of goals for making phone calls and sending handwritten notes and doing pop-bys and getting X number of listings. So to be able to do that, we have to keep in touch with everyone. And we want to be able to give you a little bit more free time. We want to give you more time to be able to do what you do best and be in front of people, right? To make those listing and buyer presentations, to meet people at Starbucks, to be able to host seminars that are informational in your community. So to be able to do that, we need to free up some of your time. And at the same time, you have to be able to keep in touch and stay top of mind so that you're getting more referral and repeat business. So when we automate some of these keep in touch processes, we make it easier for you to be the first, to be at the top of everybody's inbox on a recurring basis. If you automate some of those follow-up processes, then you don't have to worry about them when you get busy. So things like sending out a monthly email newsletter, so like sending out an annual home anniversary card to all of your past clients, to sending a birthday greeting. Those keep in touch processes are things that we can automate that then take the work out of it for you, so that when you do get busy, you don't have to worry about it. So we're going to help you automate some of those keep in touch processes. And if we think about it this way, that the cost in hard dollars of not keeping in touch is staggering. If you lost just one referral a month, what would that cost you? If you didn't get the buyer that said, well, yeah, we're kind of looking now, but ultimately we're probably not going to be ready to move, to really start looking and get things going until the fall. It'll be for a winter move in next year. What if they go with somebody else? What's the cost of losing that long-term prospect? So it's all about the keeping in touch. So, and that's one of the challenges in sales, and not just real estate sales. One of the challenges in sales is, how do I get that prospect to come back to me when there's so much competition? What's going to keep them coming back to me? And it's that you have to be the agent that kept in touch with them the best, the most efficiently and effectively. And things like sending a monthly email newsletter, and I'll show you what the exact contact monthly email newsletter looks like, is sending your clients, your past clients, your prospects, information that's valuable to them, but not selling them, if that makes sense. So an email newsletter is informational, and the exact contact e-newsletter is designed to position your branding, position you as the professional that knows all things home ownership, not necessarily just buying and selling. So articles, about your home at a glance. What do people think when they drive by your house? Sort of that curb appeal. What about new windows? Should you think about replacing the windows in your home? And should you think about bringing fitness into your home? So things that are more home related, but are valuable information that help your prospects, that help your clients remember you as an expert, not just as a salesperson. Some of the other ways that the exact contact system can automatically communicate with people, and I think I mentioned it, but the email newsletter, by the way, goes out automatically every single month. All you have to do is choose what day of the month, and it will go automatically for you. You can preview it, customize it, make it your own before that auto send, but the system will do the writing and the designing and the delivery all for you. So that goes out every single month. And in addition to a monthly email newsletter, remember I mentioned how important those move-in anniversary dates are? So on every home address in the system, if they're a past buyer, if they become a past buyer, even if they're a seller and you know their move-in anniversary for their new home, even if you weren't their buyer side of the transaction, make sure you update their home address with that current move-in anniversary. Because what the system can do is put it in your calendar, send you a task reminder a week in advance so that you have that reminder floating to the top of mind, so that you can then easily either send them a card, make a phone call, or automatically have the system send them a nice little greeting e-card. So if I go to my move-in anniversary, I like number 2. We've created some of these nice little e-cards for you. There's different versions of these throughout in the system, so you can choose which of those email greeting cards is going to be sent on that key special date. And the same thing can be done for birthdays. I'm not going to show you the full settings because it's essentially the same thing. It's just you're going to choose birth dates, and the system can differentiate between whether it's the main contact or the spouse and who to send it to. But ultimately, you're following up on, with the move-in anniversary, you're following up on a key date that is not just important to that person. It's probably a date they forgot, right? We remember our birthdays, hopefully, but we don't necessarily remember the day that we moved into our house, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road. They might remember the month, they might remember the season because it was August and it was hot and I hated it, but they don't necessarily remember that it was the 4th. So being able to be the professional that remembers that key date sets you apart from the competition. The professional that remembers their birthday, even though you're not necessarily, they don't consider you necessarily part of their personal network, you're following up on that key personal date that then makes that person feel special, right? So it's all about setting yourself apart, doing things that set yourself up for success because they're going to remember you. I have one question in the chat here that I see. When is the best day and time to send out the newsletter? Usually during the beginning of the month is a great option, and our system will auto suggest a time and date for you. Typically, people tend to be checking their email, their social media early in the day, around the lunch hour, and then of course again in the evening. So picking a time when the most people are going to be actively in front of their computer or actively scrolling through their phone, right? When you first wake up in the morning, what do we all do now? You grab your phone, you scroll through what's new overnight, what did I miss? So sending it out first thing in the morning is a great option. Praveen, great question. Is it okay to send a birthday or wedding anniversary greeting? Absolutely. And you have to be the judge a little bit on that with the people in your network, right? I don't think anyone's going to be offended if you send them a happy birthday, especially with social media, basically telling everyone, right? Facebook popped up 3 notifications today to tell me whose birthday it is. So I don't think anybody's going to be offended about the birthday. I think if you know their wedding anniversary, if you're close enough to them to feel that that's appropriate, then it's another great way to just check in and say, hey, you guys have been married another year. It's congratulations to you. It's your third wedding anniversary, what have you. So that's a little bit to your discretion, because it's going to depend on your client and how you feel the relationship with them is. So feel it out in that sense. I hope that helps, Praveen. But yeah, birthday and move-in anniversaries, I don't think anybody's going to take offense to. Anybody who receives an email can always unsubscribe. You can always turn it off for a specific person if they said, please don't follow up with me on my birthday. No problem. They don't want to be reminded. Just turn it off for that specific person. So easy ways to keep in touch with everybody. And the last thing I'll show you just on the marketing side is in the marketing activity plans. We call them activity plans because they don't have to be just email. You can actually have other task reminders and things built into these activity plans. But again, we're providing you with a ton of copy and content that position you as the expert. Again, not just in buying and selling real estate, but in home ownership and in real estate directly related to the person you're communicating with when we're talking about these activity plans. So you'll see here, it's a 2-year-long campaign specifically for a first-time buyer who's currently renting. So every one of these emails is a little tidbit of information that is going to be helpful to that person. And it positions you as an expert in not just real estate, right? It's not just like, yeah, you're a first-time home buyer, here's a bunch of listings. It doesn't help a first-time buyer, right? Especially if, like I just described, maybe that first-time buyer is the person that said, yeah, I think we'll start looking in the fall. I think that's when we're going to be ready, but maybe realistically it's not till next spring. How do you stay top of mind with that buyer so that they do think of you, that you're the expert with so many other real estate agents out there? All they have to do is click a button and say, real estate agents near me, and they get hundreds, maybe even thousands of results on a Google search. How do you make sure that you're the real estate agent that person follows up with when they're ready? And it's about keeping yourself top of mind by feeding them this valuable information. And you'll notice just from the planned tasks, all of the topics here are things like, what kind of mortgage can they get, right? Giving them a phone call to figure out what kind of mortgage they qualify for. They probably have lots of questions. The process, don't let it scare you. So just, again, you're positioning yourself as empathetic to their situation and as an expert in their situation in relation to home buying. There's also activity plans for, long-term seller prospects or hot buyer prospects with this 4-month high touch campaign. There's even, as we talk about being networkers and marketers, right? And exact contact, as you're probably seeing now, is really that CRM system that's designed more for the networker and marketer type agents. We've got an activity plan specifically for our sphere of influence. Pardon the dogs, we're all still working from home here in Toronto. I apologize. I probably have a delivery. So again, our 5-year sphere of influence nurturing campaign gives you all of the communication that you need to stay top of mind with those past clients, with the friends and family, that you just need to, that they remember you, but do they remember that you're in real estate? And so it's just reminding them that you can provide them with that valuable service in addition to your personal relationship to them, reminding your past clients of the expertise that you have in real estate. So just all kinds of little tidbits of information just trickling out. And these go out approximately once a month. So in addition to your monthly email newsletter, there you've got 2 touches a month already. So super simple to set up and assign these. I'm not going to go into the how-to. That's part of a different type of webinar. But I wanted to show you all of the available content so that, again, when I flip back to my slide here, we're helping you keep in touch and stay top of mind, but we're automating some of the processes so that those long-term prospects don't get forgotten about when you're busy with buyers and sellers right now. Right. And it's so easy as a salesperson to sort of let that that part of the funnel sort of fall away a little bit, but it's so important to continue nurturing because it smooths out that roller coaster ride that we can have in sales, right? We've got so many things going on. We're so busy. And then we get to the top of the roller coaster and we fall back into that valley and we've got to climb back up and then we get to the top and we're so busy. And then we fall back into the valley where we've got nothing. If we can flatten that out by keeping the business flow smoother, by keeping in touch with people so that your pipeline's just always bringing in, that person's closing, this person's starting, that person's closing, this person's starting, then it's going to just make your business flow that much better. You're going to be a lot less stressed out. You're going to be a lot happier in your business. And it's not costing you a ton to be able to set up those easy processes. Now, I've mentioned your A-list. I think we talked a little bit about, your A-list and who they should be. If you're still not sure, don't worry. We all look at our contact list and go, oh, how do I split this up? And really, it's looking at it and thinking, okay, who in my A-list or who in my contact list should be in my A-list? Who are those people? And your A-list contacts are about 20% of your database typically that will drive 80% of business over your career. They are the people that are they'll be your champions. They are your referral sources. They're potentially past clients. They include hot prospects, right? Those hot prospects that you're talking to right now, and those high quality long-term prospects, as long as we stay top of mind with them. And you should be connecting with everyone on your A-list on a regular basis. If you haven't been, and this is a common problem in sales, not just real estate sales, not just calling you out real estate agents, but in sales in general, it's so easy to feel a bit of trepidation to follow up with people, to reach out again because you're like, oh, I haven't talked to them in 6 months. What am I going to talk about? You got to put it aside, not be embarrassed about it. Give them a phone call, send them a text, send them an email, right? And just re-engage, whether you've been doing it regularly already and you need to up your game or switch it up, or if you haven't been doing it enough and you're ready to admit it and then get things going again. It's a great time of year because people are going to be focused on what's ahead of them, right? So we're looking at that beginning of year, and it can be something just as simple as just saying hi, right? Wanted to say Happy New Year and wish you all the best for the coming year. It could be to provide them information on the local real estate market, what the projection is for the coming year, what last year looked like. Tips to supporting businesses in your local area, right? If you're a networker and marketer, that's where your expertise lies, is in your local area. Be that networker, connect people to local businesses, especially now as those local businesses, those small businesses are working really hard to bounce back. And you're going to provide value across the community, not just in real estate. It could be things like advice on how to proceed with the purchase or sale if you know that they're a hotter prospect. Whatever you decide to talk about, have a topic in mind, pick up the phone and do it, because it's just going to make such a big difference in your business if you can just make those little connections early in the year, and then the system will help you manage that. Remember, we saw that keep in touch coach that's going to remind you on a recurring basis, hey, it's time to follow up with Chris again, and make sure that you're never falling out of touch with anyone in your database, no matter what status they might be in, whether they're a hot prospect, a long-term prospect, a past client. And the last thing that I want to talk about is just working on ourselves, right? We talked about sort of New Year's resolutions, new year, new you, new business. Your attitude, how you build relationships, the way that you focus on your skills and your own health make a huge difference in your life. And of course, that translates to your business. Think of yourself as an athlete that's always training to be in peak readiness for when the season opens. The season is always open. So keep practicing your skills, take training, get coaching. I talked to a realtor recently that said, you know what? It's been 15 years since I've had a coach. I did it when I first got started, and then I kind of got away from it. I thought I had it under control, and I realized that I just needed some guidance. I needed to reinvent my business. Things have changed in the market since I started since I started in this business 15 years ago. So get the coaching, use the tools that are available to you to set your goals and work towards that success. And you're like, Shannon, you're not a business coach. No, I'm not. But it translates into CRM because a happy, positive person with great attitude and confidence in their skills will attract a lot more business. And something that translates into those skills and that great attitude can be getting yourself organized and putting systems in place that then boost that confidence in where your business is going in this coming year. So those are the 5 things I wanted to highlight. I want to jump back over to just how we get you set up and working in the system quickly and easily. And it's all wrapped into our unmatched concierge setup service. It's included. There's no extra charge for setup or for support. We upload that database for you. So again, if you've got it scattered over email and phone and other systems, we can upload that data for you. All you have to do is get it into the hands of our support team or call them and say, I don't know how to get it out of XYZ. They will help you. We also help you set up your email newsletter with your branding and your keep in touch coach. We'll sync with Google or Outlook or your iPhone, your iCalendar, whatever's appropriate. Help you set up automated lead capture from wherever your leads are coming from at the moment. And we'll even help you set up an agent website. I didn't actually tie that into today's webinar, but Exact Contact does include an agent website. So if your current CRM and you're looking to replace it, if it's tied directly to a website product, we have a website that potentially can help fill that gap as well. Again, that's a whole separate webinar. Didn't wrap into today's topics, but if you need to build that online presence or replace an existing website, we have a great solution for that, and we'd be happy to chat with you about what the website and social media options are within the Exact Contact system. And of course, you've got ongoing support once you do get started. There's a ton of learning resources. Some of you may have noticed as I was moving around the system here, up in the top right corner, there's this little help button. And if I click it, I'm taken to a full help guide online and a set of tutorial videos that help break down the system into quick, easy tutorials like setting up your email header and your monthly e-newsletter. Again, it's all included in our concierge setup, but if you're more of a do-it-yourselfer, you'd rather watch the quick little videos, those are available to you to make that part of the setup process super simple. And any page of the system that you're in, within the system, you've always got the support number and email right at the bottom. You've got a little chat bubble here to chat with the support team as needed. So always easy to access, and ongoing webinars. We do customer webinars in addition to the webinars that you're like the one you're joining today. So if you don't have a good CRM today, or if you need to replace the one that you have today, I'm just going to run through some of the value here. Exact Contact as a full solution with CRM, email newsletter, the platform that delivers that email newsletter, even an agent website. If you were to go and piecemeal all of those different solutions together from different products, you're looking, I would say, probably in that $100 to 230, maybe even more per month with the website included. And Exact Contact does it for just $33 a month on our annual billing. If you do month to month, it's $39. So super reasonable. And we always offer a free trial. Our special offer to you today for spending an hour with me on our webinar is that we're extending that free trial to 60 days. And you can get started at exactcontact.com/webinar. Or if you click on the 5-week free trial button on the website, you just enter the partner code webinar. Either way will work to extend that free trial for you. If you are new to real estate and you're looking at setting yourself up for a really successful business in the new year, you get 6 months free. And we really believe that as a core system for your real estate business, that new agents need systems in place, but may not yet have the budget for them, right? And all of you that have been in real estate longer than a year can think back to, I'm sure, all of the things that you had to worry about, all of the charges you had, all of the things that you needed to put in place when you first got started in real estate. And if you could have just put in some of those keep in touch processes in place to get your friends and family and your network and any leads that you were getting coming in at you, would you have had more business? So that's where we want to help out those new agents. And of course, those of you that are more seasoned agents, we're helping you as well with that extended 60-day free trial. It's essentially 2 free email newsletters, if you want to think of it that way. If you have questions or want a more detailed overview of certain features or even the whole system, you can call our awesome support team or email us, and either myself or a member of the team will get back to you. Now, I think I've actually managed to leave a few minutes for questions, which is unlike me, but I'm glad that I did. So I want to just jump over to the questions box because I see a couple people have put some questions in here. Suzanne, good question. Do you put people into an email newsletter group so not everyone in your database receives it? You can, yeah. So one of your contact groups might be email newsletter, and then you would just assign that group to the email newsletter. The general thinking on an email newsletter, and the system has the capability to do this, is that everybody gets your email newsletter. It's general interest enough to drive the interest of everybody. It's not just for buyers or just for sellers or just for new prospects. It keeps everybody remembering that you're an expert in all things home ownership. So there's actually settings within the email newsletter to say every time a new person gets added, add it to my every time a new person gets added to the system, add them to my monthly email newsletter. And I see your follow-up to that, Suzanne. You'd also like to put other agents in your CRM. So you could put those in as the business pipeline category, business to business, and maybe group realtor, and you could exclude them from the monthly email newsletter. So super easy to do that, and our support team can help with that when you do the initial setup and help you know what the instructions are so that you can manage that going forward. Like if you were adding a new agent to your system and didn't want to subscribe them to the email newsletter automatically. Pat, I think I've probably already covered this, but yes, there is a live human being help desk. They are all located locally here in the Greater Toronto area. In Ontario, we are Eastern time, and support is 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time with phone, email, chat with a live human being. So not just the help guide that I showed you, although that's a really helpful resource. Our support team is here to help, and you can just pick up the phone, call them whenever you need their assistance. Diana, good question. What is a rookie? A rookie is an agent who has been licensed less than a year. So if you are on day 364 of your first licensed year, you still qualify as a rookie agent. So I hope that answers everybody's questions. If there are any more questions, I'm going to keep the webinar online for just a couple more minutes. I know that some people will have to jump off, but I'm glad that we had time at the end here for a little bit of Q&A. Diana, if you're signed up and you need to let us know that you're a rookie, you have a couple of options. You can either just phone, and our support or sales team will let you know what to do, or you can simply email a copy of your real estate license to info@exactcontact.com, and that confirms your rookie status, and your free trial would be automatically extended to 6 months for you. You'll get an email back confirming that you've been extended to 6 months. Dorota, watching from Europe. Absolutely, you can use the system in Europe. We have customers around the world, primarily here in North America, but you are able to use the system really anywhere that you have a web browser and internet access. Jeff, we do have a version for Teams. If you'd like more information on it, give our sales team a call. Essentially, the team allows the team leader visibility to all of the contacts in the system, and then your team members can be given visibility to just their contacts. You can set goals for the team members. So again, setting everybody in the group up for that success and being able to track towards those goals overall. Great questions, everybody. And I will stay online for just one more minute before we all jump off and jump back into our day. I know, especially this time of year, there's so much to do. I hope that you make CRM one of those things that you're going to do to kick off your year really strong, getting those strong systems in place to really help in your business. So I will sign off. Again, the recording will be sent out to everyone in the follow-up email. Typically, we send that out the next day because it takes us just a little bit of time to get the recording ready. Suzanne, good question. You have a question about real estate brokerage deals. If you would like to talk about a real estate brokerage, please call me directly. It's the 866-665 number on your screen with extension 223. So I would love to chat with you a little bit more in detail about that and what you're looking for the brokerage. Abby, in-depth training for current subscribers. We do customer webinars periodically on specific items. If there's a specific item of the system that you're looking for more detail on, shoot us an email and I can probably send you back a previously recorded webinar on that topic. Or if you're looking for assistance with something specific, just call into our support team and they'll be able to walk you through that. All right, so I'm going to sign off for today. Again, I appreciate everybody spending the time with me. I know how busy it is to get an hour out of your schedule, so I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to speaking with any of you that have questions after the webinar. Have a great day, everybody.